Hello and welcome to the 15th episode of the Bookbreakrs podcast. With me, as usual, are the voices of reason, Paul and Enda. How are you, lads?
Very good.
All
Very
good,
good.
all
And,
good.
and we also have a special guest this week. We've got Sean Miller with us. So Sean is a journalist from the US of A, based out of Philly. And he does like Premier League write-ups for, I think, NJ.com and Betters Insiders and a few other publications like that. So welcome, Sean, as well.
Yeah, if you've ever watched Sopranos, I don't know if you watched it, the newspaper that he holds up at the beginning, the Star Ledger. That's my one of my papers. So
No way. That's a cool
Sopranos
thing.
used to read my stuff.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
We have no such claim to fame, I'm afraid.
Not yet, but we're working on it.
We're working on it.
Right, so this week we're going to talk about the Champions League. So the guys are all going to give us their picks for who they think is going to win the Champions League and how the English teams are going to fare. And then we're going to look at the Premier League top scorer as well. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. We'll put the spotlight on you, Sean, straight away. So give us your thoughts on Champions League winner this season.
It's tough. I mean, I originally, when Messi signed with PSG, I thought maybe they were going to win it, but just looking at the last 3 years, you got to kind of, I think, look at the English teams. I would say right now, probably the English teams are four of the top five in the world: Liverpool, City, United, and Chelsea, and then probably PSG. So, I mean, I would probably side with one of the English teams. I don't want to be a homer right off the bat, but I'm going to go with I think I'm going to take a chance with Manchester United at plus 1100, 11-1. Get the Liverpool guy riled up right away.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
straight
Oh,
away.
lads. I mean, you just abandon all reason, lads. Come on.
Now
The
there's an
Ronaldo
interesting
factor.
there's an interesting factor here, yeah, because basically, Messi's gone to PSG. He'll have his eye on the Champions League, which would take him level with Ronaldo in terms of 5 each. So you can bet your bottom dollar Ronaldo will have he'll be egging the United guys on to do their best. So
I think you could go with, I would bet, if I had two bets, I would probably take PSG. I just don't think City is going to win it. Chelsea won it last year. They're pretty good. I think you could say them. I would put Liverpool in there as well. I think any of those five teams could win, but if I want to look for a little bit of value, I would probably back United and probably back PSG as well. But I wouldn't be stunned if any of those teams. I don't think, other than maybe Bayern Munich, anybody else could win. Like, I think it's tough to go and say, Barcelona or one of these teams, Ajax. I just don't see any of those other teams being as strong, Borussia Dortmund. So it's just, I think it's going to be one of the English teams or PSG, but I'll back those two.
I mean, it's following the money tree there, really, isn't it? Like, it's basically the big spenders are rising to the top. So, all right, let's jump on then. Enda, do you want to give us your view on it this season?
Well, I go PSG or Chelsea. All right. I accept what you're saying there about PSG. But I think the key factor for them in not getting over the bridge. So, and you hear about top level sport is managing adversity. They don't get it in their national league. They're not able for it. Okay, they brought a few lads in. They brought in Ramos. He's faced adversity, and Gini Wijnaldum. So I think with Messi, Wijnaldum will do all the donkey work for the three lads they'll be missing when Neymar and Messi are up front. I think they'll go very close. And I give Chelsea a real shout at retaining the title. They're better this year. They've actually got a striker in Lukaku. They've got a Rolls Royce of a midfield behind them. Take your pick of Mount, of Kai Havertz, my favorite player. Niguez now. You have Jorginho there, and sure Kante will just mind the back four, and you have a good back four anyway. I see PSG with the two they have up front, or Chelsea. I put it 50-50 between the two of them, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and in that midfield, then you throw in the likes of Pulisic, Ziyech. They definitely.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the wings. Then the wings, then you've pace as well. You have Werner in one wing and Ziyech in the other wing.
Yeah.
With regard to the other English teams, I'd see Liverpool probably coming out on top of their group, maybe going out in the quarterfinal or semi-final. I seriously see United going out in the quarterfinal or /16. Like if you look at what's there, like you look at what's going to come out of the groups, you'll have Dortmund and Ajax 1 or 2. United will come out 1 because they've got the easiest group going late again. You've got Inter Real 1 or 2, like 1 or 2 there. You've Bayern or Barca 1 or 2. United will struggle with all those teams.
Right.
Okay. So I see them last 16. City have no striker. Again, I see PSG coming out of that top of that group, and maybe them last 16 again.
Yeah, like the angle with City, I think is interesting. Like Pep's kind of drawn a line in the sand in terms of when he's going to take a break or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they've won the league a load of times now. Like he will be putting everything behind trying to lift that trophy. But without a striker, like yes, they have Jesus, they have Torres. Like if Torres suddenly exploded onto the scene, and he plays for Spain, and he could happen. But unless something like that does happen, hard to see them.
No.
Like I was looking at their squad today. KDB,
was it Gundogan? Gundogan was their top scorer in 8 last year.
He had 13 league goals last year, and he was their top scorer. But like he's 30 now, KDB's 30. Like there's a decent chance that City have actually missed their chance of winning.
Oh the last 2 times.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're a sad club anyway. But like on their badge, they have 3 stars. What's that for? 3 league titles. You only put stars on your badge when you've won the European Cup, lads.
Yep.
Hadn't noticed that, but cool. All right, and cheers, Paul. Hit us with your picks.
Yeah, I wouldn't really disagree too much with what's been said already. I think Chelsea will be thereabouts again. They're looking particularly strong already. I think Lukaku is going to score an awful lot of goals for them this season.
Now, do you mind if I just come in on that, because Enda mentioned it as well? What if Lukaku gets injured?
Well, they won it last season without Lukaku.
They managed last season, exactly.
Yeah, but they had Giroud and Tammy Abraham, and they don't.
Neither of which really scored. I mean, Chelsea last season didn't have or rely on one man to get all the goals. I think you mentioned Gundogan being City's top scorer. Jorginho was Chelsea's with I think 8 goals. So I mean the turnaround from Christmas when Tuchel came in, that drove them into 3rd place in the league. Sorry, it was 4th. Oh no, did Liverpool finish 3rd or Chelsea finish 3rd? Either way, it drove them into the Champions League spots, and they won the Champions League minus Lukaku. So you add him into the mix. I don't think Lukaku's a player who's kind of suffered historically with any major injuries either. He's a bit of a beast. I wouldn't say.
The reason I mentioned it is because you've got the World Cup coming up, qualifiers. It's going to be a long season.
I think that they could be in trouble if Conte or Jorginho gets hurt long term. I mean, the 2 that sit in that midfield. I mean, if they have somebody like that gets hurt as well, that could be an issue. But some teams have so much depth. I mean, you see like City and I know Chelsea has depth in other positions, but Liverpool has some depth in these positions.
At the weekend, Sean, they played without both of them and won 3-0 against Villa. I take your point, and Enda said previously how there are doubts about them defensively, but Kante kind of covers for that. Like he definitely is their main.
Would that be why they bought Negreira, just in case any of the 2 of them get injured? I'd imagine.
Yeah. Okay, Paul. Sorry, I cut through there.
Yeah. Again, I think of the English clubs, I think Chelsea are the most likely winners. City, I think, as you said, their time may have come and gone. If they had signed Harry Kane in the summer, it might have been enough of a boost for the squad as well. You know what I mean? It was almost signing Grealish for 100 million. should have been, like a major boost for the fans. And I think with the way the whole Harry Kane and Ronaldo thing went towards the end of the transfer window, I think it probably left a little bit of a sour taste in the mouth. And I just don't see them progressing any further than they did, progressing as a team any further than they did last season. And I think Chelsea totally outplayed them in the final. So I'd rule them out. I'd rule United out simply because I don't believe they have the midfield. I still think that is and has been for quite a long time their weak position, and I think that I'd rule them out of the Premier League for the same reason. Paris Saint-Germain will go close again. I think they've had a great transfer window. I think keeping Mbappe was major for them. But I mean, if I was to go for an outsider, say outsider, a relative outsider, I think Atletico Madrid will go close again.
Yeah,
I think you just can't rule out Simeone. I think they'll win La Liga, and I think they'll go close in the Champions League. It'd be interesting. It's all about getting out of the group. We've seen it in the past. It can be the most difficult part of the whole tournament, getting out of the group. And they've got a tricky group with Liverpool, Porto, and who was the fourth team in it? Milan, AC Milan. Yeah. I mean, you'd imagine it's Atletico and Liverpool to come out of that, but I think Atletico, with a reasonable draw, will go deep into it.
I agree with that. I actually had put two against the field myself, outsiders, Atletico and Juventus. I think take Ronaldo out of Juventus, there was definitely some issues there.
They've had a poor start, haven't they? They haven't won in the first 3 league games.
Yeah, and I think that's that. But that could be another reason why maybe they focus on that tournament. Allegri knows all about the cup competitions. Defensively, De Ligt, Bonucci, defensively a sound team. Rabiot, Ramsey, like they're the type of team who, and exactly that point you made, if they get out of the group, I don't think anyone will be jumping up and down to get Juventus.
So, a point about themselves and Juventus. Does they taking away or not Juventus? It does taking away the away goal affect those things, because that's basically how the tight teams win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'll be a big problem for Atletico, because they're just anti-football.
Yeah, but I think Atletico and Chelsea, this new Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel Chelsea, are quite similar, really. I mean, I don't see Chelsea scoring like bagfuls of goals this season. That's not how they're set up, really. They're set up to keep clean sheets, and Atletico Madrid are the masters at it. Simeone is the master at it, and I think
they can play. And sorry to cut across you. They can play, and they want to play Chelsea. Yes, they are set up to be tight. Atletico are set up to be tight. Boom. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Yeah. So there's two against the field there. I think the point about Simeone, like, if at first you don't succeed, he's been there how many years now, and he's gotten so close on so many occasions. They got Griezmann in. They have the Portuguese wonder kid whose name just jumped out of my head.
Felix. Yeah.
Like if he kind of shows what he's got,
he's a year older now as well, isn't he? He's a year more mature. I wouldn't rule them out. I just don't think you get back against the Simeone side. I'm absolutely convinced they'll win the Liga.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Cheers for that. I'm going to jump in now and just have a quick look at the app. The competition's on the app. So, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've paid out the winners of the August competition. So Ben Shepherd won that, and he's also doing well in the season comp. So you can see there the breakdown of the NAP competition this season. So every week there's a new competition, 50 quid in the pot, 200 in the pot every month, and then that all rolls up to the season-long competition, which is 3 grand in the pot. I'll just quickly go into some of the other competitions. So you've got here's the current state of the weekly, the monthly, and the season-long competitions. So Ben is top, and yeah, so it's all starting to take shape. It's 6 picks a week for the NAP competition, so you get 5 naps and 1 banker. It's completely free to play. In addition to that, you can set up your own private leagues and have private leagues with your friends. So that's another way to win as well. So yeah, that's how the competitions are going on the app. We'll jump back now, guys, and focus on Premier League top scorer, which I think is interesting this season. There's probably one nailed on guy who we've already touched on, but let's go around the houses. We'll start with you on that one. Who's your pick?
Yeah, we spoke about him before, Lukaku. He's going to have the ammunition. He's got the track record. I'm looking at he has 7 years in the Premiership before he went to Milan, and the lowest he got was at United at 12, and that's when probably the football didn't suit him at all. And like he had 23 and 24 in both his seasons in Milan. He's got 3 already this season, and he's everything you want. He's pace, he can run to it, he's strong in the air, he's a touch, he can hold it, bring other players in, and he's got the ammunition. He's got the 2 boys in the wing. They've got speed on the wing, Chelsea, in Ziyech and Werner, and they've got, like I said, to quote myself, Rolls Royce midfield. There, like, take your picks: Havertz, Kovacic, Jorginho. You've Kante minding the house. You've Pulisic, Mount, Niguez.
Yeah, I think he made a very good point yesterday in the, I think it was in the post-match interview, Lukaku, when he played in Italy, he was really, he was getting maximum 2-3 chances per game. So he said that almost honed his finishing. He realized that was something he really needed to work on, because he wasn't going to get the bagfuls of chances that he was getting. So he spent those couple of years there really honing his finishing. And you see his second goal yesterday against Villa. What a finish that was. I think it's a little underrated how good that was. And I think you're right. I think if his finishing has improved since he was last in the Premier League, and if he gets the chances that he's bound to get at Chelsea, he's going to get a lot of goals.
That was his first ever goal at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I know, but bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. Best of the rest, then Kane will be sure. All he has to play for is the Golden Boot. He won't win anything else. He's not allowed to go anywhere, so he'll be dagging. Son will give him the ball. He'll get a hatful. The penalties and the free kicks aren't as soft this time. That's going to affect him. Ronaldo will be in the conversation, but again, penalties and free kicks not as soft this time around. That will affect him as well. I mean, like he's going to be on, when he's on the field, he'll be free kicks, penalties. You know what? There won't be that many of them, and also, like, how good is he on them? 71 free kicks he took in 3 years in Juventus. How many did he score?
I don't think he scored any, did he?
One.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. And then Salah will be thereabouts as well. So I reckon Lukaku will.
I was going to say on Lukaku, like, he won't take penalties. Is that going to impact his chance of winning that?
I don't think so. I think there's going to be it is a fair point as well. There's going to be enough chances. Either does Salah, by the way.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Lukaku for Enda. Sean, we'll go back to you. What's your pick?
Well, I mean, last year in Serie A, Lukaku scored 24 goals, 5 behind Ronaldo. So those are the top 2 odds over here right now. Ronaldo's about 2.5 to 1. Lukaku's about closer to 3 to 1. But I'm gonna go with Ronaldo. I think he's gonna score a lot of goals this year. He's gonna take some of the penalties, I'm sure. So when you look down the list, I guess it's tough. Maybe Dominic Calvert-Lewin at 20 to 1. I mean, see some of these other names, and it's just it's almost like the odds to win the Premier League. It's basically 3 or 4 guys. I mean, there's not going to be probably someone coming from off the board. So I think it's going to be between those 2, Ronaldo and Lukaku. Yeah. So I'll go the other way from the other guys and say Ronaldo.
If you're looking at off the pace, theory is a wonderful thing, but like a fit Ings in a team that should create more chances. Like, I think he got 20 goals last season, was it? Or maybe it was the season before, but he's capable doing something, but
I thought about him, and I thought about Vardy. Vardy's pushing on, and
No.
Ings, Ings will get close to 20 goals, I think. The way he's going, like if he stays fit, like you said.
Yeah. Okay. Paul, what's your pick?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned all four of the more likely candidates: Kane, Salah, Ronaldo, Lukaku. If I was to go out on a limb, I think the reason why I wouldn't say Ronaldo is he is 36 years of age. I think it's more likely that Solskjaer, he's not going to play every game in the Premier League. It's just not going to happen. He's going to play the big Champions League games for certain. I could see him playing maybe Cavani up front against the Southamptons and the Brentfords, places where Ronaldo, if he was playing, could pick up 2 or 3 goals quite easily, So I'd probably rule him out for that reason. I still believe he's going to score a lot of goals this season. I think I'd probably, and God forgive me for saying it, I think I'd probably edge for Salah if I was going to pick one of them. I think he's really the focal point for Liverpool. He's in good form. He's been in good form for many years. And if Liverpool go close in the Premier League, Salah will go very close to being top scorer, I think.
Yeah, his consistency is unbelievable.
I think
he scored 32, 24, and 22 or something in the last 3 seasons.
32, 22, 19, and 22.
Yeah. Now,
and I think for him, I think Mane, there was almost a battle there. Don't think it was last season. I think it was season before between him and Mane for the Golden Boot. Mane's goal scoring seems to have dropped off a little bit of late, and I think Salah really is the focal point for Liverpool's attacks.
Yeah.
And for that reason, Liverpool will score a lot of goals this season. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So I'd edge for Mo.
The one thing I'd say there is AFCON.
I was just going to say they'll be gone for himself and May will be gone for the month of November.
Yeah.
So what's that? 2, maybe 3 games?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Liverpool have in that period of time, but he's likely to.
Sorry, Paul. Go on.
Sorry, go on. No, I was going to say he's likely to score a couple of hat tricks this season. He'll definitely score braces. No matter how, if he misses 3 games, he's still got 35 other games. I can see him hit 25 league goals minimum.
He's like Kane as well. It's a personal mission to get as many as possible. And he's never going to pass to Mane. We can be guaranteed of that.
Yeah. Cool. I looked down the list, like Sean was saying, and there isn't really many who come into the argument.
Michail Antonio, maybe.
Yeah.
He is top scorer at the moment, isn't he?
Like if you take Ronaldo and Bruno, I think they'll split the goals amongst each other, and I think that'll prevent either one of them winning it.
And how about any chance someone like Aubameyang? I mean, our Arsenal's terrible, but 40-1.
No,
he has the ability. He definitely has the ability. I think
he's pushing on though as well.
Yeah.
Since he signed that big contract with Arsenal, he went off the boil a bit. But I think as a team, Arsenal have gone off the boil. So if they clicked, he'll score goals.
He was the one I fell down on, Sean. As I went down the list, and you rule people out for various different reasons, AFCON and this kind of thing. Now I know he plays with Gabon and stuff. I don't know will he be gone or not for November. But last season he had COVID, and I think he lost 6-7 kilos or something, and he it just didn't work out for him. I think if he gets back on song,
he had malaria. He had malaria I think, last season, and COVID at the start of this season. So he's had a pretty rough time of it.
Yeah, and he did score. I think it was 2 seasons ago. He won the Golden Boot, or he shared it or something. So he's at 40-1.
Unlike City as well, or the Tyrone footballers, he doesn't seem to come back stronger from COVID. So it makes everyone else different.
Yeah.
Maybe they should go up to Tyrone and get the cure, or go over to Manchester, over to the Etihad.
That's it. Right. Any other ones you guys want to throw in?
I mean, there's players that will score a lot of goals.
Sterling?
You're talking. I don't. Not the same goal scorer he was a couple of years ago for some reason.
Because he's
I
not
think
playing every game, really, isn't he?
Well, yeah, and there was rumor that Pep was allegedly trying to offload him in the summer. That never happened. But I don't know. He's not first choice, and I don't think his finishing is what it was a couple of years ago. He was red hot a couple of years ago. Possibly.
Was his finishing that good, or was it the ball that was so good that all he had to do was hit off and go in? Because I felt like the balls were going in so good from De Bruyne. Anyone that was at the back post put them in, and just because of his pace, it was always him. And then when it came down to actually finishing, he couldn't. And I think the fact that maybe De Bruyne isn't there as much, that the balls aren't going in as sweet, and he's been forced really to finish more, and we're seeing the weakness in his game, which is his finishing.
Yeah,
I think City's expected goals per game is always going to be pretty high, and if you're playing in that front three at City, you're always likely, if you can finish, to get quite a few goals. So
with the World Cup coming up and stuff, I think there will be a lot of rotation this year. So I think the player who wins Golden Boot will be someone who is able to get 2 or 3 in maybe 3 games. And you get to 10, without having played too many games. So it'll be an interesting season. The only other one I'd throw in is Chris Wood, Paul.
That's you're going to go with a guy that played for the team with the 3rd lowest goals in last year's Premiership.
3rd lowest goals.
Team that are going to be relegated, and we'll never hear from them again, or Sean Dyche, and with the help of God.
3rd lowest goals, but probably 3rd best manager. So this is a running joke on the.
Yeah, Sean. Enda is a big fan of Sean Dyche and his style of football.
He's a disease.
Sean,
disease.
Were you going to put?
I was going to say maybe. If you one other guy, maybe Patrick Bamford, same thing, 40-1. I know Leeds might score some goals, but once again, like if you start looking at all these guys down the list, I think you're kind of clutching at straws a little bit. So
what about Mason Greenwood?
I think he's gonna score some goals, but once again, like that's the only thing about Ronaldo too. Like I think they're gonna be, Greenwood's gonna get a goal, Bruno's gonna get a goal, Ronaldo. I mean, they have other guys that can score, so I think he's gonna score some goals though this year.
I think Ronaldo being there will stymie his game. To be honest, he won't get as much game time. I like him. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I like him. I think he should be playing. He should be the number 1 striker, but that's not going to happen.
I think he needs to beef up a bit before he could be considered as a number 9. Really, to be honest with you, I think.
Does he not need to play though, Paul?
Well, he does play. He plays. I think I think he might have started every game so far this season, but he starts on the wing at. No, not at 9. But you can't. He's a young kid, and he's not a big guy, and if you're up against Premier League defenders, he is, and in fairness, I'm not a fan of Solskjaer, but I think he's managing Greenwood pretty well, really. I think he, one of his strong positions is cutting in from that wing onto his left foot. It's like a
he's
one,
both feet, doesn't he?
Yeah, you couldn't actually tell he was left footed.
Again, delusion. Thy name is United. You were saying Solskjaer is managing him great, like by playing him out of position in a system that doesn't suit him, lads.
No, but you can't throw him into.
I suppose you can't
throw him in at the deep end.
But you have to play him where he's supposed to play as well, like.
Yeah, but I think he's easing them into it more than anything. I think it is. You got strikers coming to the Premier League from other leagues, and they'll tell you that Premier League defenders are the toughest defenders in the world to play against. They'll kick lumps out of you all day, and it's not good for a young kid who's not physically strong to be getting kicked around the place either. So
actually, one good point we didn't touch on of why the English teams, bar Chelsea, won't really get far in the European Cup this season is because there's going to be different rules. They'll be kicked around the place in the Premier League, and that's going to be a massive foul in Europe, like. I think that'll have a bearing on it as well.
Yeah, all to play for anyway so far. So we'll see how we get on. And again, at Christmas we might have a pod where we look back and just track progress and see how we're getting on. But we're at the top.
I welcome it.
Yeah, we're at the top of the 40 minutes.
How many
anyway.
forfeits will you have to do by then, Paul?
Yeah, we'll see who proves to be the most knowledgeable. But for now, anyway, this week, lads, thanks for your time. We'll be back again next week with another topic. So thanks as well, Sean, for joining. And
thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Fair play.
Yeah, thank you.
We might get you on again at some point once you're set up over there. Cool. Cheers, lads. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
See you. Thanks a lot.
Later.